In this demonstration we shall see the capabilities of NX for defining coatings in the context of an assembly. NX coatings requires the user to group together the faces that have to be coated as coating region features. NX's selection capabilities provide powerful tools to capture only the visible elements of the assembly as coating regions and avoid internal faces that are hidden from the paint gun. Let's take a look at the use case we have here. It's a ship with multiple decks. And if I take a clipped section view, its internals would be clear to you. We want to define a coating scheme for the second deck. I have segregated the parts that need to be painted in a separate part, which would act as the placeholder for my coating scheme, and subsequently the coating bill of materials would be derived from it. This part may or may not participate in the main bill of materials of the top-level ship assembly, depending on the company standards. You can observe that this part has all the components from the ship's second deck, and let me show you a different view from which I would want to select the portions that I want to be painted. As I define the faces for the coating region, I am looking at the assembly just the way the paint gun would see it from various directions. The option in NX to allow or disallow selection of hidden bodies and faces helps me avoid selecting the internal cavities of this engine so that I get an accurate estimate of the paint material that's required to protect its outer surfaces only. Once I am satisfied with the selection of faces from the various components of the second deck, I am ready to create the coating layers on this region. NX provides a large number of coating materials from well-known suppliers, and users can create their own databases as well. A coatings material can have several important properties as part of its standard definition. This includes its standard thickness, coverage ratio, process notes, color, etc., which of course can be modified by the user whenever they apply it for creating a coating layer. You'd observe that each coating layer is created as part of a coating stack. We can create reusable coating stacks containing multiple coating layers in a sequence that follows company or industry standards. One such reusable coating stack, containing 3 paint layers, is inserted from the reuse library here, and you'd notice that 3 coating layers are applied on the selected region on the far side of this second deck assembly. NX allows full freedom to edit each of the layers that I inserted just now. This may include deleting any layer that I don't require at this time, or reassigning a layer to a different coating region. After making the necessary modifications to the coating stack, we can push it back to the reuse library as a new stack so that this combination of coating layers can be also reused later. In this case, we have created a 2-layer stack. This concludes the demonstration of NX coatings for assemblies, where NX's selection options and reuse library makes it considerably easy to define the coating layers.